Hello, I'm Tara Parsons, a registered nurse with the Monarch Centre, here today to talk to you about newborn behaviour.
It's no surprise that having a baby changes your world, your schedule, your orderly and tidy house, your sleep schedule. It may all go to the wayside once baby arrives. This is because babies behave very differently than you and I. So what is normal newborn behavior? How can you respond to your newborn's needs? When should someone be concerned about their newborn's behavior? First, let's compare newborn behavior with adult behavior to give you an idea. Let's start with newborn sleep. Newborn sleep patterns are usually irregular. They sleep on average 16 to 18 hours in brief stretches during a 24-hour period. It is usually not until 6 months of age that they are able to sleep 6 hours straight. Newborns can't tell the difference between daytime and nighttime, and it is common for babies to wake up often overnight to feed. The average adult sleeps about 7 to 9 hours at a time, and for the most part through the night, or is able to get back to sleep on his own if awoken. To help your baby sleep more easily, learn the cues that mean your baby is tired. Once a baby is overtired, they may have difficulty falling asleep. Look for yawning, quietness or loss of interest, crying or fussiness, or rubbing of the eyes. To help your baby sleep well, you can create a bedtime routine. Avoid stimulating your baby too much before sleep, and place baby to sleep in a room that is dimly lit. Now let's talk about eating. Newborns eat on average 8 to 12 or often more times a day. Sometimes they prefer to snack all day. Other times they prefer a full meal. A baby can take up to 45 minutes or more to eat their meal. Babies like to eat as much during the night as they do during the day, and sometimes they cluster lots of their feeds together in the evening. The average adult eats 3 meals per day with snacks in between. Adults generally eat during the daytime, and it generally takes about 10 to 15 minutes for an adult to finish their meal. Feeding your newborn in the early days is a learning experience. Breastfeeding is a skill that both mother and baby need to learn. Having positive support in the early days is especially important and can set the stage for success. It is recommended that the baby be fed on cue as often as they want, day and night. A feeding cue can be your baby stretching, moving their arms and legs, or bringing their hands to their mouth, or sticking out their tongue and licking their lips. Newborns need to feed at least 8 to 12 and often more times a day. Mother and baby should stay in the same room, but not in the same bed, to make it easier for parents to respond to baby's cues and help to coordinate sleep patterns. Now let's talk about crying. Since babies cry to communicate, it is normal for babies to cry multiple times a day. They may cry when they are hungry, tired, overstimulated, warm, cold, sick, want to be cuddled, their diaper is wet or dirty, they have gas, or are bored, and sometimes they cry for no reason at all. Babies may stop crying when parents respond to them, and at times they may not. It is important to know you cannot spoil your newborn baby by responding to crying. Adults also cry when they are sad, upset, or when they are hurt, but much less often than babies. There are many things you can do to soothe a crying baby. Here are some examples. Feed them or burp them, change their diaper, check the room temperature to make sure it is comfortable, make sure baby is not overdressed or underdressed, go for a walk, talk or sing to your baby, rock the baby, give baby to your partner or support person. With time, you will learn to tell the difference between your baby's cries and how to respond to them. It is important to know that responding to your baby's cry will not spoil your baby. A baby who cries and appears inconsolable can be extremely stressful for parents. This may become a dangerous trigger for shaking the baby. Never shake your baby. When you've tried everything and your baby continues to cry, it is okay to place the baby in the crib and let him or her cry for a short period of time while you take a break. Shaken baby syndrome is a condition which occurs when a baby is shaken violently. Now let's move on to diapers. Babies pee on average 6 or more times a day and poo 3 or more times a day in the weeks after birth. They can soil up to 18 diapers a day. They need a diaper change each time their diaper is soiled. Adults use the washroom about 4 to 5 times a day and do so independently. Refer to this chart from Best Start for information on what is normal for baby in the early weeks. Since babies need diaper changes at almost every feeding in the early months, it is a good idea to change the diaper at the start of the feed or midway through the feed. This can help wake a sleepy baby. That way, if they are very sleepy or asleep near the end of the feed, you can simply place him or her on a safe sleeping surface. It is normal for a baby to fall asleep at the end of the feed. It's important to seek medical attention if for any reason you are concerned about your baby's behavior or if any of these signs are present. Your baby is not feeding and is having trouble waking up. Your baby is limp and not interacting when awake. Your baby is not having the minimum number of wet diapers per day. Your baby is breathing quickly, more than 60 breaths every minute when not crying. Your baby has difficulty breathing or is working hard to breathe. You may notice nostrils flaring, grunting that lasts longer than a few minutes. Your baby's skin seems to be pulling in sharply around the ribs or base of the throat when he or she breathes. Your baby is very irritable. Your baby is crying almost all of the time and the crying is high-pitched. Call 911 if your baby's skin color changes to blue, gray, or pale. Blue hands and feet are normal in the first days. Or your baby's breathing stops for more than 10 seconds.
There are many community resources available if you have any questions about your newborn's behavior. Here they are.